unfortunately, so the new Mass was introduced in the 60s, and I was saying at the beginning, it's not just a mere translation, and yet the question of the language is also important, because already you can see that every religion will have a sacred language for the worship. Something, not the language of the street, not the language of the factory, something special. You go to a liturgy, there's something special going on. Even pagans, even non-Catholic understand that. You go to a Buddhist temple, you go this, you go there, there will be something, you know, sacred, not just a regular thing. So, of course, once again, if there's a translation of the readings, let's say the catechetical part, the teaching part, the priest will speak in the language of the faith, we will try to explain. But the liturgy, there must be something sacred. It's not an ordinary meeting. And you see, the argument that was used was the following: oh, people don't understand, so they need to understand to participate and pray. But this is not true. It's not because you will understand every single word of the Mass, if I were to say it in English, Thai, or your own individual language. It doesn't mean that you will pray better. As a matter of fact, the sacredness of the Mass, the silence of the Mass, and when you have a sung Mass, which we don't have today, but when you have a sung Mass with a beautiful Gregorian chant, with the use of incense, you may not know a single word of Latin, but you understand that there's something sacred going on. You understand that it's not an ordinary meeting, it's not an ordinary thing happening. You understand there's something sacred, and that's what the Mass is, ultimately. And if you understand the sacredness of the Mass, then, my friends, you understand everything. Now, of course, we can always, then perfect our knowledge. If you have a missal, then that's even better, because then you can follow. There's the missal for the common prayers, but if you've got also a missal, then you can follow the text, etc. Of course, it is better, but it is not indispensable. And Latin has been used for many, many centuries in the Church. It has united Catholic. Again, look at that. We're all from different countries, different places, etc. We can all pray together. Do you know that a very sad thing has happened because of that? Now in the Church, it's like when you have large ceremonies in Rome, let's say a canonization of a saint, a big ceremony in Rome. You've got Catholics coming from all over the world. They're all there. They cannot pray together anymore because they don't know all the prayers. They cannot sing the Kyrie, they cannot sing the Gloria, the Credo, they cannot pray together. It's something dramatic. And so, on the contrary, traditionally the Church has united all the Catholics from all over the world. I'm just arrived from China. I don't speak Chinese. I said Mass in China this past few days in Latin. So, Latin has united all the Catholics from all over the world, being so proud to be able to say the prayers, the common prayers of the Mass, to sing the prayers in Latin, feeling Catholic, especially as some of you coming from countries mostly non-Catholic, even where Catholicism is persecuted. How proud you feel to be able to pray with all the saints and all the Catholics from Italy, from Spain, from France, from the UK, from England, from the US, from all over the place, all the Catholics praying together, praying the Mass of the saints, praying the Mass celebrated by St. Pius V, the Mass celebrated by St. Pius X, the Mass celebrated by Padre Pio, his holy priest. So we can all pray together, and the Church so has wished to keep that, though once again allowing some parts, like what I was saying, the teaching or some songs can be in the local language, but most of the Mass would be in Latin. And so let's really value that, and we cannot change much, of course, although thank God little by little, because our society is present all over the world, and so little by little the Latin Mass is coming back, and the young generation of priests is actually often interested because they don't know what they've missed, so thank God it's coming back little by the side door at the moment. But so for us, let us cherish the Mass you know, just try to know it better, and because this is the Mass of the Saints. The saints, all the people of past generations were made saints thanks to the attendance at the true Mass, the reception of the sacraments, and also individual prayer. You know, we can come here very often, so do say your rosary, especially in other prayers. You know, uniting yourself with the rest of the church. That's what we say in the creed when we say we speak about the communion of saints. It is the union of all the Catholics here on earth, in purgatory, and in heaven. So let us remain united through that prayer. And during this Mass, I will of course pray for you that you remain faithful to that Catholic faith, outside of which there is no salvation. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son,